Hey, 3D animation class, week 6 lecture. A couple of things today. I want to, since I didn't like this particular semester get to talk to you directly about the face animation assignment and the rain rig, I just want to address a couple of little things that popped up, or differences from the lecture that I had recorded last year, just because of version updates and whatnot. And I'll just kind of remind you what you should be doing for that assignment. And then the main topic is motion capture. And then this will kind of wrap up character animation stuff for this semester. I decided that I'm going to adjust one of our later assignments just a little bit. There's the video game animation assignment, and I'm going to basically give you a different option if you want for that assignment. So it's sort of like choose A or B for your assignment 5. I believe that's number 5. So we're talking about motion capture, which is actually kind of cool. I think this one's kind of interesting. But first, let's look at rain real quick. So this is what it looks like when you open it up. So just a reminder that your workspace, like if you're downloading someone else's Blender file, your workspace is going to be off a little bit. And don't forget that you can always like change what is in a window. So like down here, there's this like text editor, because it has the README open. So like, you could change this to be something else. I don't know, shader editor. Or you can, if you hover over or put the mouse in the corner, you can like collapse one of these windows to make it something else. But the thing that it was brought to my attention that doesn't work is the layers here. For whatever reason, the layers are broken in this version of Blender. But thankfully, if you select the rain rig in your scene collection and go to the object data properties down here, these are the layers that would have appeared in the layers here. So like you can see layer 1 is the IK controls, layer 2 are like the body controls, 3 is FK controls, and 4, the one you're looking for, is the face controls. So if you turn on layer 4 here, you can go into pose mode. Whoops, select that pose mode, and now you can move all the things. The other thing too. So I really don't know what all these other ones are. They might be nothing. Oh, so like, let's see. This one I think is the no, that's finger control. This is hair curls. The scarf. You know what I didn't realize before was oops. N. I'm trying to press N, but I kept pressing B. Character. In character here, this is where you can turn off the like scarf and stuff. So like scarf off, on, hair strand. So yeah, this is kind of a preview of like some of the cool things you can do with drivers. These are called drivers that like kind of can change values and turn things on and off, and it can make handy switches and stuff like that. Setting these up is complicated, but if you know the trick and you have things like this that you're turning on and off, you can do that. Also, it looks like layer 12 has some additional face controls. Yeah, so it looks like there's like a couple more things here. So like, oh, like you can really tweak some of the eye positioning here with this one. What's the difference between this one and this one? I don't know. I don't see a difference. Oh, that just might mean these are the actual pieces of the armature that we're seeing. Because like, how is this one different from this one? That's the top of the eyebrow. That's also the same one. Yeah, so I don't know. You can turn those on and off. Listen to your body. Transform local helpers. Like, what are all these things? Probably nothing. So 4 is the one you want to turn on. Layer 4 in the object data properties under bone collections. Cool. So if it wasn't, in case it wasn't clear, what we're practicing here with assignment 3 is using the asset library, asset browser, saving poses. We're going to go to current file, saving poses, and matching facial movement to audio. So the rest, if you're only animating the face, if you're only doing these face bits, that's totally fine. You don't need to animate the rest of the character. If you did the face thing and you want to do the rest of the body to whatever audio you've chosen, maybe it's the one I provided, and get some extra practice doing character animation, totally fine. Create pose asset. You know what to do with all this. I hopefully I believe I did a pretty good job explaining it a year ago. Anyway, okay. Let's talk about motion capture. So this one's a little more talky. Motion capture is cool. And the technology to do motion capture has actually become a lot more accessible over the last several years. Like phones particularly have gotten a lot of facial tracking features. So like many of you maybe have a phone that will like unlock when it like sees your face. That's doing like motion tracking and facial tracking. If you use like Instagram or Snapchat or one of those things that like has a filter that'll like do things to your face, like that is motion capture. And like live motion capture. So like I'm not hip and I'm not cool, and I don't know all the things that the social medias can do, but like I remember seeing that like Snapchat or Instagram had a thing where it's like if you opened or like stuck your tongue out, it would turn you into a dog, or it would like if you smiled, it would like make you turn you into a reindeer or something crazy like that. But that's motion tracking. That's because phones have society and technology has deemed it important to put that technology into your phone. When I think of motion capture, this is kind of where my head goes. I imagine like movie studio production, somebody on a big soundstage with all these little balls taped to their body, and doing things like this. One of the very first, I think, things that did this. This is Andy Serkis, by the way, actor. Maybe so. He's he does a lot of the apes in the Planet of the Apes movies franchise. But I think he's done a lot of big movies, but he did Gollum on the Lord of the Rings movies, which I now realize are like almost 25 years old, which is wild. And I just need a pause, moment of silence for Lord of the Rings being that old. And actually, just over the summer, as I'm kind of like a nostalgia gamer, and there's a game that came out, I think it was like around 2010 or 2011. It was called L.A. Noire, and it was like one of the first games, like AAA games. Rockstar put it out, but that had like full facial motion capture for the characters in the game, and it actually was part of the like gameplay was that you had to. You were a police officer and you would interrogate suspects, and you would have to like judge their like facial acting and try to determine if they were lying or not. So it was actually kind of cool. But anyway, so let's talk about how this actually works. So there's like two elements to it's like 1.5 elements to tracking motion. And it's identifying targets and and being able to then follow those targets and track their movement in a 3D space. And then you take that data that follows those tracking points and bring it into a program that can manage it. Now, phones, the phone technology, it's just like, it's making judgments based on like where, a computer thinks like your ears are in relation to your nose. With things like this, it's a little bit of the same, but also sometimes there is like trackers. So what I mean by that is like sometimes it is just you're shooting a camera, like it's just like a video of all these balls moving around and something analyzes the movement of these balls. But then there are also systems like maybe sort of like this one where it's like actually tracking. Like there are sensors in the room that actually track the movement of these balls precisely. So what we're going to do today is I have a couple of sets of these datas that people have made and made available for free, and I'll show you how to like bring them into Blender. There are a lot of like free things out there that can do motion tracking for you. Let's see if I can actually see an example. Like something like this. So I've tried a couple of these type of things where you take a video and you upload it to one of these platforms, and like Rococo is one that I've actually heard of a couple times. And it'll like just analyze the movements using AI or whatever, and then it'll spit out like a 3D file like this. But it's kind of lame. So, but I will say that like there's probably a dozen apps for your phone that can do the face tracking thing, and it'll give you something that's compatible that you can put into Blender, and that you can go through the process, which I'll show you, to attach it to a rig or things like that. So, anyway, I have linked down below Google Drive folder that has a handful of FBX files. And so I believe there's, just like with anything, there's lots of different file types that can do motion tracking, but FBX is the one that I've used and that I have experience with. Like here's Avatar. Like every movie does it these days. Every big budget movie has, facial tracking like this. Like there's Barack Obama on a soundstage. That's funny. Do you think that's actually him? Anyway. Yeah, like here's Andy Serkis again. There's Gollum, and there's Gorilla. Cool. Oh yeah, so like this one here is a layout of like how some things do motion capture. Like they'll have like a circle of sensors that actually are sensing the position of these balls, and then tracking the data that way. But anyway, okay. All right, so here's in this folder, I've got like 4 different things here. I found these a few years ago, but let's see. We've got cha-cha, which is the dance, yoga, jump and roll, whatever. I'm going to download the yoga one. Scanning for viruses. Thank you. Okay. So let's go into Blender. And first thing, I'm going to go File and Import. And we're going to select Motion Capture, which is BVH. I'm listening to this British podcast where it's 2 British guys talking about world history. The end. Okay, go to my downloads. Here we go. Yoga. BVH. Okay, a couple of things to note here. So check out these settings here on the right. We have scale. This, when I import this, it will be large, like larger than we want it to be. So we might change the scale, but again, you wouldn't know this before you imported it anyway, so not a big deal. But a couple of things to note in the animation here. Scale FPS and update scene FPS and update duration. So the motion capture is done at a specific frame rate. So how often is tracking the data of, or the position data of those little balls every second, which would be the frame rate. And it's usually a pretty high frame rate. So if my scene is set to 24 frames per second by default, and something is recorded at 120 frames per second, if I import it and do scale FPS, it says scale the frame rate from the FPS to the current scenes, otherwise each frame maps directly to a Blender frame. So like it'll basically only select every like fifth frame to make it fit with 24 frames per second. If I don't select this, it'll lay it all out. It'll put all the frames in, but then it's going to be at 1/4 or 1/5 of the speed. So what you can do is update the scene FPS, so change it to match the data of the FBX file, and then you should probably also update the scene duration so that you import the whole thing, you don't lose it, because I believe this is going to be like 8,000 frames long or something like that. So updating scene FPS, and I'm updating scene duration. I'll leave the scale as the same. Target armature, that's fine too. So let's import BVH. All right, so you can see it's gigantic. But let's see, did it updated to 120 frames per second, and this is 3,864 frames long. I'm going to delete my cube here. So let's just press the space bar, and my computer can only do 60 frames per second. So it's like, moving a little slow. But it's an armature doing yoga. Look, we did it. We did a motion capture. No, we're not there yet. Get smaller. Okay, so let me let's just update this to be 30 or something like that. Will it still play really slow? Yeah, so here, I'm just gonna delete this, and I'm gonna Shift A, and I'm gonna do, oops, not Shift A. I'm gonna go File, Import, and I am choosing to scale FPS like this, just so that it's a little bit faster. So I think it should play in real time like this. Yoga is so good for you. I've been doing yoga. Okay, so now what do we do? How do we like put this on a character? So I'm gonna bring in the sky merged mesh. And in case, and I know I haven't showed you how to do this, but sometimes you'll need to like transfer things between Blender files. And the easiest way I've seen it is to append, and to make sure that you keep things sort of organized in collections. So there is a way to do use the asset library and like kind of save things in your asset library. It's a little more complicated than just doing it this way. So for one offset, you can do it like this. So go to your file menu and append, and I'll find the sky merged mesh. So I'll go to my downloads, sky merged mesh. You open up the Blender file, and then like this is the list of all the stuff here in that file. And I do collection, and I'll do just the sky collection because I know that has what I need in it. Append. Okay, and so then, you can see it's way down here. It's much smaller, much smaller. What is this bit? Why is that so big? Anyway, and next, I'm actually going to scale down this thing. So let's try to get the scale of things correct. Like that. Is this going to be too small though? Why does sky feel smaller than usual? We'll make you a little bit bigger, and we can. Why isn't this getting any bigger? Oh, rig sky. Here we go. Just make that a little bigger. It didn't quite come in the way that I wanted to, but I actually don't need any of these things because we're just going to use the mesh. Now, I will say that there is an alternate method, and I did like delete all the other bits. And actually, I'm gonna go ahead and merge all that too, join all that together. Okay. So the eyes, just so the eyes are in. But this animation, so if we click on the yoga armature here, down here on the timeline, let's switch to the dope sheet and then switch to action editor. And so this armature has an action or an animation saved to it. So this is kind of a preview of what we end up doing for the game animation thing. But like animations are kind of saved as like separate entities. Let me move myself down here. So, you know, if you twirl down the I need to rename things a little bit. So this is going to be my yoga armature. And then, within yoga armature, there's an animation in here, and this animation is called 008 yoga 1.001. I'm actually going to rename this to be like yoga animation. And so you can actually see is down here in the action editor, this has yoga animation on it. And you can apply animations to different things. So here's a quick example, like a super basic example. So let me, I'm in object mode. I'm going to add a monkey like this. We go over here, and I'm going to animate this monkey. So I'm going to go K, keyframe, location, rotation, scale, and I'm going to move 30 frames like this, and G, R, S, and actually rotate like that, and then K available like this. So the monkey does this. And so I remember I'm in the action editor here. And so there's an animation on here that this animation that we just did is called Suzanne Action. Object transform. So we're changing the location, the rotation, and the scale. I can rename this action to be like twist away, and it saves that action. So just as a proof here, in my scene collection up here on the top right, Suzanne has an animation on it called twist away. Now, let's say I want to add a cylinder. There it is. Now I can put the twist away animation onto the cylinder, and all I do is in the action editor, while I have this selected, I can hit this drop down here and choose twist away, and now it does the same thing, you know, as that one. You know, we might need to move the X a little bit if we wanted to have it be somewhere else. You know, move that over there. And K available. But see, so it actually changed that action. So now it does the same thing. Interesting. So because they're both using the same action called twist away, they're going to share those, share that movement, share that animation. So maybe it would be better. Okay, so let me undo this a little bit. Undo. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do the location. I'm just going to animate the rotation and the scale like this for twist away. And then I'm going to apply twist away to this one too, and it's going to do it in the same spot. Twist away. There you go. So it has the same animation. Just, and you know, we can even apply it to this too. You twist away too. There we go. Everybody twist. All right. That's kind of a cool thing. And then if you want to remove an animation from a thing, you can just hit the unlink action here. Okay, so let's delete this and this. So now so yoga animation has, if I twirl this open, whoops, yoga animation. Don't I have to be in pose mode, I believe, and then do all. And then, oh yeah, okay. So here's every keyframe for every piece of this armature. Can I even zoom in far enough for you to see all the keyframes? Yeah. So it's just like a mass of animation. But that's because like when you do motion capture, it's capturing the position of everything every second, multiple times a second. So anyway, when you use an action in Blender and you want to put it on a different thing, it will only transfer keyframes to thing properties of the same name. So the reason that the twist away worked on both objects is because both of those objects had an X, a Y, and a Z rotation value, and both of them had a X, Y, and Z scale value. Now, you can see the keyframes are on things called like hips, left up leg, left foot. So if I were to copy this to, you know, this rig, so let me go, whoops, let me get out of pose mode and copy it to the sky rig, it's not going to do anything. If I put yoga animation on here, it copied all these keyframes, but there isn't, like, I'm getting an error because like there's nothing called right leg on here. There's nothing called right foot. So you have two options. You could either rename everything on this rig to match what's on that rig, or the much simpler method would be just take the armature that the animation is on and parent that mesh to that armature. All right, so let's do it. So first step is going to be like, let's remove the parent of the mesh here. So I'm going to do Alt. I'm touching selecting the mesh here, GeoBody, and do clear parent and key transform. I'm going to rename this to be like character mesh. And then I can just delete the rig sky thing because we don't need it. We don't need it. Okay, so here we go. The other thing we can do is, like, because the yoga animation is still here, and actually, you know what I need to do for both of these? I need to go Control A, well, not Control A, Control A, and apply all transforms like this. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. Undo. Okay, I'm a little nervous, and I remember this happening last year when I did this. So like, hopefully it's, or if it's jumping out at you, let me know. Send me a message. So one thing that happened with this particular set of data points for this yoga move is that it's like up in the air. So when I tab to go into edit mode, it's like down, which, you know, is fine. The origin point is like right at the hips here. The other thing that concerns me a little bit is when I try to apply the scale to this. If I do Shift A and apply scale, it like goes way up in the sky and then like moves around at a not normal pace. So I'm just going to go with it with this particular scale and assume it's going to be okay. All right, so step one is so yoga animation it's in here, you know, like we don't necessarily need to like keep it on here for the time being. So I'm just going to unlink this action right here. Oh, it just says it will not be retained. Okay, hold on. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this yoga armature, Shift D. No, I do copy paste like that. There we go. Yoga armature and yoga armature 001. Okay. And then I'm going to remove yoga animation from this one. Right? Because it'll still be on this one. Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to go into pose mode and select all of these and do pose, clear transform all, like that. Okay. Maybe this is where I can actually get some of this back. So hold on. So let's do this. Let me do this. If I go back into object mode, okay. Maybe this can save me. So if I go G, Z and move it up here, and maybe even scale it down, G, Z. And then if I do Control A, apply all transforms. Okay, maybe this will work. Let me also do the same thing here. Control A, apply all transforms. So this one, this guy's at scale of 1, this guy's at scale of 1. Why don't I also just do a vertical or a visual geometry to mesh, Control A, visual geometry to mesh to apply that. Okay, and let's also, I want to be, see the visibility, nope, viewport display in front, please, for the armature. Okay, and now all we need to do is just do our usual thing. So let's go into edit mode and move this, and you know what? It's like pretty darn close, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Make sure I turn on the mirroring for the thing. Try to get the toes right. You know, how many times have I done this so far this semester? Probably too many. G, move that, and I realize I don't have my keystrokes on. Turn that on real quick. Let's go. And I'm a little bit nervous that all of these are like kind of disconnected, but I think it's going to be okay. We'll see. I don't think it's going to give me an error, but we'll just see. This is also like a simpler armature than you might see otherwise, but that's just because these were the points that were tracked with the motion capture. So do you think this is like hand and thumb? For some reason, I'm curious what this is going to do. I think I should keep this like sideways like that, because I think the hands can get messed up. We'll just see what happens. Okay, I'm going to call that pretty good. Actually, final thing, I'm maybe going to move this back. Move this bone back. Move these back. Okay. Y. Tap Y to keep it centered. Okay. Let's do it. So, select the mesh. We're going to parent the mesh to the armature. Control P, the armature to form with automatic weights. Great. And now what we can do is go back to this yoga armature and let's reapply yoga animation. And where did it go? Is it going to do this? Yeah, dang. Okay. It's moving around in the sky. That's unfortunate. Okay. So let's undo that several times. Actually, you know what we do? We just delete this one. We take this one that we had, duplicate this again. Oops, copy paste. And we're not going to apply the scale. So I'm going to hide this one. I'm going to remove the yoga animation from that one. And let's do this again real quick. So I'm going to do, I have all selected. I'm going to do pose, clear transform, all. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move character mesh down. I'm just going to play along. I'm going to play along with the armature because I know that it worked. Whoops. GZ. Why are you not GZing? Oh, because I'm in pose mode, object mode. GZ. Why not? G? What's happening? Hold on, I did something. Okay, this happened to somebody else in the semester, and I believe. Oh shoot. Oh no. Hold on. Oh, like somehow all this got locked. Maybe it was like that by default. The character mesh, these were locked here. Okay. Sorry. Freaked out for a second. I'm going to move this down here. Okay. And then I'm also going to do it in front. Scale this down a little bit. GZ. Okay. And let's do this one more time. One more time. But what? Oh, that's like the hip. Okay. Oh shoot. Okay, hold on. Give me the X mirroring thing. There we go. Move that here. Move this here. Move this here. Knees. Knees. Hands on your knees. Isn't this fun? Okay, start to get these in line. This goes here. And we may find that, thankfully this isn't too tedious. Why? And we may find that after doing this, it looks a little funny. The yoga doesn't quite match up. And so we may just need to adjust. I'm actually going to leave the hand right there because I think that will be helpful. Okay. Save. Give this a good save. Oh yeah, I suppose this is animation. We'll call this mocap. Mocap. Okay. I think that's good. Close enough. Sure. Parent the mesh to the armature, Control P with automatic weights. And now on our yoga armature, let's add the yoga animation. Okay. I think it did it. So let's hide the armature. What do you think? Does it look natural? His shoulders are up for some reason. The other thing I gotta keep track of is the hands. Are the hands doing the right thing? Sort of. They're kind of bending. Okay, so I think I need to have... So I am going to adjust this a little bit. Yeah, okay, that was it, right? Sweet. So let's you know, make the scene length, you know, 993. 993. Okay, so the hands were too far and the shoulders were too high. So let me undo this. Let's remove that. And let's also look at this again. Let's go into pose mode. Shut all, go to pose, clear transform all like this. Okay. And let's adjust this a little bit. And I think we also need to like remove the parenting. So click the mesh, Alt P, clear parent. Okay, let's try this again. So let's just edit this a tiny bit. So shoulders were too high. So I think what that means is we need these to be higher so that the mesh is lower. Maybe just this one here. Okay, the other thing that was happening was the hands were bending in the middle. So I think what that means is this needs to be at the wrist. This is like the wrist indicator here. So that needs to go back to here. This needs to go back to here. And I don't know, maybe this goes here. Maybe. Let's see what that does. Okay, I think those are the only tweaks we needed to do. So parenting here, armature to form. Whoops. So click the mesh, shift click the armature, Control P, armature to form with automatic weights, and let's add yoga animation back on here. Okay, and then let's hide this so we can see. Also, what happened to my eyes? Do you see the eyes are gone? The other thing is the head is forward. Okay, the hands look a little better. Why are the eyes doing that? Okay, and I need to think about... look at the eyes. Okay, the one last thing I want to try to fix is... I think I want to try to adjust the hands a little bit. So here, when the character bends, I think that actually looks okay. So here, I want the hands to be flat. So I think what that means is, if I want the mesh to be higher, I want the armature to be at a lower angle. Second thing is, I'm going to like just slide down the like neck ones because the neck is like crunched. I think that was what the problem was before. Okay, so let's do this again. Final time, sorry. Select the armature. Remove the animation. Pose mode. Select all. Pose, clear transform, all. Let's fix this. Let's fix it. This is like this has got to be the neck here. Oops. And then I also need, I need to go back into object mode and I need to Alt P, clear transport or clear parent. Okay. Let's edit the armature. GZ, I'm going to move this down here. GZ, I'm going to move this down here. Okay. Next thing, I'm going to R rotate this and go down like that. I'm going to see what that does. And then I'm going to be done tweaking it. Let's see what this looks like. Yoga animation. Yeah, the eyes are doing something weird. It looks a little bit better. So here's the other thing we should do. If we really wanted to fix this, we could change the weight paint of this. So first we got to look at what bone this is at the top of the head. Sorry, armature, pose mode. This one is called head. Okay, so let's just find that vertex group for head, and we can just paint that. Paint the eyes. Okay, so if we go to object data properties. Nope, it would be here on the character mesh. Where's vertex groups? Oh, here, vertex groups. We need to be in object mode. Object data properties. Head. Show me head. Let's go to vertex or weight paint. For some reason, the eye is green. Eye be red. Here we go. Where's the other eye? We gotta wait till we see it. There we go. I'd be red. Okay, that's all we needed to do. Now the eyes should go with the head. What? Why? The other thing I could have done is actually like joined them together, but I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Okay. And then for fun, let's just finish this out since we got a couple extra minutes. This lecture will be a little shorter than usual. Is it moving with another? Oh, not texture paint. I want weight paint. It's got to be moving with another one of these things. Yeah, neck. I don't want you to move with neck. What would be the best way to deal with this? Oh, yeah, it's moving with the arm. See, the more I paint, the goofier this is gonna get. Oh no. Okay, hold on. Let's edit this. We need to edit this. And yeah, I don't know. What's this is more of a modeling question. I think how I'm going to do it is just L to select the island and delete these. Whoops. L and then delete faces. I don't want you on the on my person anymore. It's just going to be an eyeless person. L and then delete faces. Are there two eyes on here? L, delete faces. There you go. Okie dokie. And how'd the hands do? Hands were okay. Still maybe look a little goofy when they're like crossing over each other. Oh, and like that's a problem. But don't worry, I'm not going to worry about it. The head's too big. All right, let's just do a quick animation. Let's make a plane. It's going to be a dance floor. Let's put an image texture on here. This is going to be like a wooden floor. And actually, why don't we make it like we can make it like a glass floor or something cool. Let's do glass BSDF. Let's do render preview like this. Will you? Oh, uh-oh. Blender's having a hard time. There we go. And I'm going to change my world color to be black. And glass BSDF, roughness low. And then let's get like a party light going in here. Area light. Nah, better yet, let's do like a spotlight. GZ 500. Okay, it's getting cooler. Check this out. Our world volume. Let's add a volume to the world. Here's your little bonus here. Let's do in the volume. Let's do volume scatter like this, and turn the density way down to like 0.1, 0.08. Let's change our light to be like red or something like this. Okay. Oh, it's coming from this light. I don't want it to be this light. I want it to be this one. I want this one to be really bright. So this light needs to be, 5,000 watts or something like that. There we go. And we need our camera to be over here. This needs to be like a little narrower. And make it 10,000 watts. It's getting dimmer. Oh, I changed it to 1,000. 10,000. There we go. Where's my glass? What's my glass floor doing right now? I want to see the reflection of the person. Okay, and also I got to make sure that they're on the ground. Actually, it looks pretty good. Huh? As I move, the person turns into a monster. That is wild. Is it because I need to move both of these together? Or do I just need to move this? Yeah, okay. Oops, don't grab the mesh. Just put you right there on the ground. And then we're also just going to animate the color. This is going to slowly change to be, green, yellow, and then change to be pink. Okay. Oh yeah, and then change to cycles. That's why we're not seeing the reflection. There we go. GPU. Okay, so here's the deal. The glass really only works with cycles. Unless, there's some new fancy EV things out there. Max samples, I'm just going to be like 24. And let's see. Now I really got to change the roughness. Has got to be like almost nothing. Here we go. Okay, let's render this real quick. And oh no, we got to do like a really shallow depth of field. No, it's fine. Output properties. I'm gonna put this in file 24 animation. Accept, and I am going to make this, I'm just going to attempt to do a video file real quick. Encoding MP4, codec H.264, output quality, medium quality, sure. And we'll call this, output, we'll call this yoga. All right, let's see how long this takes. 900 frames. Maybe I should only do. Let's just see. Let me just start it. How long is this going to take? Loading denoising may take a few minutes. May take a few seconds the first minute. All right, so each one is taking 10 seconds times 900 frames. So that is 9,000 seconds. So this is not going to be done anytime soon. Anyway, just go ahead and kill that. Just render one image. Let's do 409. Cool. There we are. Now just imagine. So do the math. 9,000 seconds divided by 60 would be 900 divided by 6. Would be like, so 900 divided by 6 would be the same as 450 divided by 3. So that's hundreds of hours. I don't know. Okay, thanks for watching. So make sure you just like try to do some face animation, try to line it up with the audio. Let me know if you have questions. And we'll Zoom next week to look at it, chit chat, see what's going on, and see you later.